About 6,000 years ago, in a land between two rivers, the world's first civilization was born. The rivers gave life, but also chaos. Unpredictable floods reshaped the land. Before Sumer, the Ubaid people laid foundations, temples, irrigation pottery. Uruk, birthplace of monumental temples, and the first stirrings of writing. Then came the Sumerians, their origins still a mystery. By sea, by land, from places unknown. Their myths spoke of Dilmun, a paradise across the sea. With canals, they tamed the floods, and civilization took root. Dozens of city-states flourished. Uruk, Kish, Lagash. Their temples grew skyward, ziggurat stairways to the gods. Here they honored fierce gods, who demanded loyalty and sacrifice. Not all had to farm anymore. Specialization gave birth to artisans, priests, warriors, and scribes. At the head stood the NC, the high priest, chief administrator, guardian of the temple lands. Decisions were not absolute. The council of elders checked the power of rulers. Citizen assemblies voiced the people's will on great matters. Some cities raised temple guards, defenders of the gods' treasures. In times of war, a new leader arose. The Lugal, the big man. Once temporary, the Lugal's power became permanent. Kingship was born. Power now passed through dynasties. Kings ruled not by election, but by blood. The king list remembered rulers, some reigning for tens of thousands of years. Part myth, part history. Farming sustained the cities. Plows and irrigation transformed the land. From tokens to pictograms, then symbols, the first writing was born. Markets thrived, records kept in clay. Trade grew with writing. Art and music flourished, songs of gods, hymns of devotion. They charted the stars, believing heavens guided human fate. In the heart of Mesopotamia, the Sumerians laid the very foundations of civilization itself. Kish became the first true center of power. Among the city-states, the king list tells of rulers reigning for tens of thousands of years, clearly myth yet tied to real history. City fought, city alliances rose and fell, but no unity endured. Anatom of Lagash carved his victories in stone, commanding the first recorded empire. Temples became centers of power, managing land, labor, and taxes. Legend says Sargon was set adrift as an infant, raised by a humble gardener from obscurity. He rose to overthrow the king of Kish. Sargon led the first true empire, stretching from the Gulf to the Mediterranean. Sargon united powerful kingdoms like Ebla, forging a lasting empire. From his new capital Akkad, Sargon ruled a multi-ethnic empire. Governors and garrisons secured his far-flung domains. His grandson Naram-Sin crushed rebellions, declaring himself king of the four corners of the world. He was the first Mesopotamian ruler to proclaim himself divine. Since Sargon, the Akkadian Empire stretched across trade routes of the ancient Near East. But from the mountains came the Gutians, raiding and pillaging. They captured Nippur, the holy city of Sumer. The Gutians ruled poorly. The land fell into ruined fields turned barren. Yet resistance simmered in the south. Utu-Hengel of Uruk rose, and with him freedom was restored to the lands of Sumer. Anamu founded a new dynasty, restoring Sumer. The great ziggurat rose to honor Nanna, god of the moon. Your centralized bureaucracy managed labor, land and taxes with precision. Each province contributed for 1 month, a rotating system called Bela. You're the third, revived Sumerian tradition. Language, law, and culture flourished once more. But problems grew. Salinized fields, corruption and unrest threatened the state. The burdens grew heavier, and a simmering discontent took root in the hearts of the people. From the west, Amorite tribes pushed deeper into Mesopotamia. From the east, the great host of Elam descended. Their march shook the earth, heralding a time of profound change. The last king Ibisin struggled as enemies closed in. In 2004 BC Ur fell. The heart of Sumer shattered. Texts speak of gods abandoning Ur, leaving the city to ruin. With Ur's fall, Sumerian statehood ended forever. New kingdoms rose, most famously Babylon, under Hammurabi. Sumerian ceased as a spoken tongue, surviving only in scholarship, like Latin millennia later. Yet their script endured, shaping records across Mesopotamia. They created early law codes centuries before Hammurabi. They devised a base 60 system, giving us hours, minutes, and degrees of a circle. They charted heavens, shaping the first calendars and even the 7-day week. From mud and reeds, they invented arches and columns, principles still used today. Their art astonishes still jewelry, music, even board games. They invented soap and myrrh, thick and sweet, drunk through straws. Beer was sacred. Ninkasi, goddess of brewing, was honored in song. They gave the world the wheel and the first war chariots. In schools, young scribes studied writing, law, and the stars. Their culture merged with Akkadians, Babylonians, Assyrians. Their architecture lived on in Babylon's towers. From Sumerian laws flowed those of Hammurabi and beyond. Hours, minutes, seconds, the circle itself. Gifts of Sumerian mathematics. From mud and reed, they built the foundations of civilization. The Sumerians vanished as a people, but their legacy endures in our cities. Our laws are time, our very world.